If you thought last year was messy, whoo mama, wait until you see what's happened this year. Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife and today I am taking you through my TBR for PickPong-a-thon. PickPong-a-thon is a readathon hosted every year by Krystal from Bond Book Review. There is a whole host of co-hosts and I am going to be part of them. I'm going to leave everybody else linked in the description for you below so you can go and follow them, you can go and subscribe to them, you can go hang out with them on some of the reading sprints that we're going to be doing across the year. I took part in this last year. I was back at home in Ireland with my parents. I had pretty much the entire kit and caboodle I needed. This year, the production value has dropped ever so slightly. I did my throws last night, just after I had finished work, and I spent the rest of last night and today getting my TBR finalized and figuring out what it was that I wanted to read for all of the prompts that I got. So, let's go back in time and see what prompts it is that I have got for this month. I wish I could say that I could make this more professional than I have, but I can't. So, our playing field is a clothes error, our cups are just coffee mugs, and our balls are assorted colors of the covers of like my face cream, my shower gel, water spray, and sun cream. We're going to start with 5 throws, and we're going to see how it goes. Because I feel like this is quite a short playing field, I'm going to take a little step back, and we're just going to hope for the best. This didn't go super well last year, so if it goes any better than that, we're already winning. So this is throw 1 for book 1. Okay, that was 1 miss, 2 misses, 3 misses, and 4. So if I miss this, we're immediately up to a 6th book already. So we're playing for 6 books. Okay, we're still on book 1, by the way. Excellent. Okay, so book 1 is gonna have to be, can you see it? No, treat yourself. Fantastic. And we're gonna replace that prompt with a friend recommendation. So for book 2, again, if we miss this, we're on to 7 books already. Oh, that was so close. Yes, finally. Okay, so for book 2, it is a female protagonist. And that is going to be replaced with any, but it comes with a punishment. For book 3, I'm gonna try and go for one of these 3 because I haven't done those yet. Yes. Okay. That went pretty well. For book 3, I need to read the oldest published book that is on my TBR. And that is going to be replaced with a book that has disability rep. 3 books down. 3 to go. Book 4. Oh, I think that was a punishment. Was that a punishment book? Nope. It was a friend recommendation. Friend recommendation is going to be replaced by a book that I started in August and it comes with a reward. We're on book 5. Easy. Easy. So, book 5 is the first in a series and it has a punishment on it. Fantastic. And we're going to replace first in a series with, I go for one from the middle, a standalone book. Let's go for book 6. Easy. Book 6 is a book that I started in August, and it comes with a reward. We're going to replace that with a book that I am least excited for, and again, it comes with a reward. Okay. I believe this is my final book. I'm going to try one in the back. So 4 misses so far. If we miss this, it's immediately an 8th book. There we go. 8 books. Hopefully, we'll be okay. So 9, 3. So I'm at 12 throws. After 3 misses, it's another book. It's 10 books. Okay, I'm gonna concentrate. Got it. So I'm pretty sure I already had this cup. So that is a standalone novel. Standalone is going to be replaced with a male protagonist. This is for book 8. It got in. We're not gonna dispute it. It got in, and we have to read a prompt fell. We have to read a book that I am the least excited for, and we get a little reward. We're gonna replace that with a dystopian. That's gonna be difficult because I don't think I have any dystopians on my shelf. Book 9, throw 1. Okay, so book 9 is a book that has disability rep, which I'm going to replace with just one. A female author. And so, hopefully finally, I said that before, book 10. That'll do. Book 10 is the dystopian. We're gonna make it work somehow. We're gonna make it work somehow. 10 prompts later, we have got an entire list of books that I am going to try and get through in September. Prompt number 1 was super simple. It is treat yourself. I don't know what I'm going to buy across September, but I have got free reign to buy one book of my choosing, and I don't need to feel guilty about it. Thank you so much, PickPong gods. Thank you so much, Krystal. Prompt number 2 is to read a book that has a female protagonist, and I have had my eye on this book ever since it came out. And there's so many people that I know who have read and loved it, and I feel like now is my time to get on the hype train. This is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. It's going to be my first R.F. Kuang book because she hasn't written a lot of contemporary books, and this is much more in the style that I read than, say, The Poppy Wars was or Babel was. This book follows June and Athena, who are both authors with varying levels of success, but when Athena passes away in a freak accident, June takes over Athena's manuscript and makes the story herself, even though it's not necessarily her story to tell. I know that Bree from Four Paws in a Book, this might be her book of the year so far, so I'm really interested to see if it's going to be my book of the year too. I know so many people who read it across the Amazing Readathon and they absolutely fell in love with it, so hopefully that's also going to be the energy I bring into it. Prompt number 3 was to read the oldest published book on my TBR, and for this I went to my physical TBR on Goodreads and sorted it by date published and went for the oldest one, which brought me back to 2018, and Thanks Pennies by Valerie Loftus. Valerie and I went to the same university, we did the same course, just 1 year above and below each other, and this book is about pennies, also known as Primark. It is an Irish institution. It is the place where you go just to buy some fluffy socks and end up having spent €500 in one day on just little random stuff that you didn't know you needed. I am an unabashed pennies girly. I've had the success of living in a place with the pennies every single place that I've ever lived in my life. Hopefully that trend is going to continue, but I really need to get this book read. It's very short. I think it's only like 100 and something, 200 and something pages. It's 220 pages. I feel like that is just a coffee table, maybe like a one day, one sitting book, but this is going to be so simple to take off. Prompt number 4 is to read a book that a friend recommended to you, and I'm kind of bending the rules here. This is The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren, and I've spoken to Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading a couple of times about this. I know that she read it during the Amazing Readathon for the romance prompt, and she said she had a really great time with it. Now, I did know about this book before I was talking to Brittany about it. I had kind of wanted a Fizzy book from having read The Soulmate Equation. Fizzy is the main character there's best friend. She is a romance novelist. I just felt like I wanted to learn more about her. So I'm so excited that we have got a Fizzy book on our hands. I cannot wait to see it. I think this is like a fake dating reality TV show kind of thing, and I'm really interested to see how it's going to go. Prompt number 5 was to read the first in a series, and it came with a punishment. And this is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. This is again a BookTube darling. Everybody has read it and loved it. I know so many people who have truly enjoyed this. I am very hopeful, but I'm also a little bit worried because I'm not a big fantasy girly. I've never really liked a fantasy book, but this is very low stakes fantasy. This is very like low key fantasy. And also it has a romance in it. And also it has a kind of coffee shop setting. And I love a coffee shop setting in a contemporary romance book. So I think that this is going to be the first I think this is going to be the great introduction that I need. However, I have just realized that I forgot to do any of the punishments and the rewards while I was playing the game. And technically, I was supposed to do the punishments and rewards while I was playing the game. So, I think I know how I'm going to fix this. I think when I have finished Legends and Lattes, I'm going to give myself a punishment. Whatever comes out to my head or whatever you guys can suggest, I'll just go through the list and I'll find a punishment. And when I finish Legends and Lattes, I'm going to do it. Prompt number 6 was a book that I started in August, and that comes with a reward. So when I finish this one, I can give myself a little treat, and that is Love at First Sight by Jennifer Duggan. I am about 150 pages into this, and I was genuinely really enjoying it, but it was a sightseeing book that I had for the Beijing leg. I think it had like kind of cursive font, and I just didn't get to it in time for us to get on to Tokyo. I just didn't get it finished in time, and it wouldn't have fit the Tokyo prompt, so I have it on my back burner for September. But when this prompt came up, I knew that it was the perfect one to go to. I was really enjoying the story of Lizzie and Cara. Lizzie had accidentally caused Cara to call off her wedding day, and now they are kind of living together, getting to know each other, and there's so much kind of awkward tension between the two of them. I'm so living for it. Again, this book comes with a reward, so when I have finished Love at First Sight, I get to give myself a little treat. But I do need to think about what the treat's going to be. Maybe throughout the month, you will see me finishing this and you'll find out what the treat is just as well as I do. Next up was a standalone, and this is The Sweetest Revenge by Lizzie Dent. I had a really great time with The Summer Job, which is Lizzie Dent's her debut novel, but I haven't read The Setup yet, which was her second novel, so I'm going to overjump it immediately and go on to her third, which was just released in the summertime. I am not entirely sure what this one is about, so I think I'm just going to continue that and go in completely blind. But the cover of it is super entertaining. I think she's like falling into like a Tom Collins or something like that. And I know that Lizzie Dent has got some really interesting, really funny writing styles, so I am so intrigued to see how this one is going to go for me. Number 8, and also with a reward, is a book that you are least excited for. And for this one, I've gone with The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I've got a reason why I need to read this book in September. You will find that out in a future video that I'm going to be showing you, but I'm a little bit worried about this one. This is such a Marmite book on BookTube. People either completely love it and give it 5 stars, or completely tank it and give it 1 star. There is absolutely zero in between. I don't know what side of the coin I'm going to fall on. I don't know if I'm going to completely love it or if I'm going to really wish that this book did not exist. but I'm going to go into it with an open mind. I'm going to see how I get along with it. I'm going to give it a best shot. I have got The American Roommate Experiment, which is Elena's second book, also on my shelf. So if I enjoy The Spanish Love Deception, I've got her second book already ready to go. And if I don't, we might have to already say goodbye. I have a feeling that this is about a woman who goes on a fake dating style wedding plus one with a co-worker of hers that she really doesn't like, and I believe it happens to be somewhere in Spain, which is why it's The Spanish Love Deception, and I'm really interested to see how that is going to play out, how it's going to go. But as I said, when I finish The Spanish Love Deception, I get to give myself a little treat. I don't know what the treat's going to be yet, but let's see what we end up with. Prompt number 9 was a book with a disability rep, and this one was a little bit of a toughie for me because I don't have a whole lot of books that have disability rep in them. However, I took a look, and it turns out that Something to Talk About by Meryl Wilsner has a character who has diabetes. I don't know how well that's going to fit in because it feels more like a chronic illness representation, but I can kind of shoehorn it in. This was Meryl's debut, and I have read their second book, Mistakes Were Made, and I utterly fell in love with it. I read it for Rom-Com-a-thon back in February, and it was just what I needed at the time. I have a feeling that this is going to be just as spicy, it's going to be just as steamy, it's going to be just as good of a time, and if that is true, and if that is correct, I'm going to have the time of my life with this book. Let's just see how we get along. Finally was another book that I thought would be a little bit difficult for me to find, and that is a dystopian. I don't read a whole lot of dystopia. My whole shelf is kind of light, warm, fluffy love. So it did take me a little while to think about what I had. Thankfully, something came out of the woodworks. I am kind of halfway through the Noughts and Crosses series by Mallory Blackman. This is the YA series where white people and black people, their roles as we know them in society have been completely flipped. So white people are the oppressed and people of color are the oppressors this time. I read an abridged version of the audiobook of the second one, so there might be some things that I'm missing out on. There might be some context that I might still need, but I gave the first book in this series 5 stars, completely loved it, utterly ate it up. So I'm really hoping that this will have the exact same energy that I need to go into it. Those are the 10 prompts and the 9 books that I have got to tick off in September for PickPong-a-thon, and hopefully I can fit some of them into Rom-Com-a-thon as well. Are you playing PickPong-a-thon with us this year? What prompt are you most excited about, or what prompt is giving you a little bit of concern? If you'd love to leave me a comment but you can't think of anything you'd like to say, then just leave me the table tennis emoji. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.